Tony. Councilmember Perales is taking the challenge to go green, so he's actually on light rail on his way over
Very
here.
good.
So there's some sections of the agenda that we've pushed off waiting until he gets here. And knowing your busy schedule might call you away at any time, would you like a few moments to discuss? Or are you here just to listen, or?
You know, I'm here to answer questions. I mean, I can tell you that I guess I can just go real quick. I saw Pete this morning. We were talking.
Joined at the hip today.
Yeah, I guess I'll go to the easier up here. So I'm the Central Division captain, so I've been assigned patrol for 3 years. I've probably been downtown for about 2.5 years. I recognize some faces. Some of you I know from before when I was an area commander here for 4 years, from about 03 to 07. And I trained here in 1989. And, oh, excuse me. So, sure. No, absolutely, we're good. So I've been downtown for quite a bit of time. For a while I was the Western Division captain when I first got promoted. So I was south of 280. I was sent there because I'm fluent in Spanish. We don't have that many Spanish speakers on the department. It's tough, so we have to spread them around. So we don't have that many command officers anymore that speak Spanish. I think I and Lieutenant Mata are the two that are in patrol right now. So I was in Western for a while. Then we did a change around. We went to 3 divisions. That didn't work too well, and we went back to 4, so then I ended up staying downtown. So that's where we are. So from the division is from downtown to Alviso. Recently, we've been able to make some headway downtown. Pete already has been hearing my stuff, but we do have the 4 additional officers and the sergeant. We have the downtown foot patrol detail. We have that specifically downtown because we've just got a high concentration of people there, and there's a lot of things going on. It's a transit hub. You just need more police officers in that particular area. That's been very successful. We've been working with the limited sidewalk bicycle ban. I think we cited about 50 people last month on that. It's a real concentrated effort in the core downtown. We're able to do that because we created a law and then we added officers with that. So that's really making a big difference.
Enforcement.
Downtown, right. So we're doing that downtown, right, exactly. So we're doing that downtown. We have our prostitution problems, I heard. We're running Operation Dole Blade right now. The Blade is North 1st Street, the track is South 1st Street. So the Blade, they call it the Blade, so we call that Operation Dole Blade, and we're working on that.
Also, can I add a little bit to that? From, I guess from 8 o'clock on, I mean, you have more traffic at night than you do in the morning. It's like bumper to bumper. And then because I live right next door to the new place, that Kawama's place.
You're talking, see, I'm not I have everything north of 280, so I'm not too familiar anymore with South 1st Street, okay?
And Floyd, before you get to Alma.
Okay.
There's this new eatery, it's called Kawama's, it's a Mexican,
Sure,
right across the Travel Rest Motel. And I mean, the prostitutes, I've seen that at the Johns, they park into the Travel Rest. They, I guess they go and they get a room, the girls get ready and everything, so they start their job around 7 o'clock.
And what's the name of the restaurant here? I'll let Captain Mark Bustillos know.
Yeah, Kawama's. But also they're associated, they're out.
There used to be Mountain Lakes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll put that all
They're where they get ready is at the Travel Rest Motel.
Okay, and then I'll let him know, he's really challenged down there because he's got SSP, Sir Santos Pride is down there. They really have a lot of stuff going on.
But the thing when it starts really jumping and getting exciting is about maybe 11 on. They park they park in the streets and they do some of the things. Sometimes they pick up and they go. Sometimes they get into the driveways and drop off the prostitutes. And this is, I mean, I'm a light sleeper. And I can't sleep, you know, with all this banging of the doors and everything. And it was so funny the other day I was in my porch and this prostitute passes by and she knows that I'll call the police, and she looks at me, "Are you calling the police?" I go, "No, I'm not today, but my neighbors will."
Yeah, that's right. There you go. Well, at least you got a smile about it.
No, but you know, the only thing that I know that you guys are busy. As long as you have at least a cruiser, just pass by, and then this way they won't know what time to expect.
Sure.
A cruiser and.
And I will let him know.
Yeah,
that's
please.
Captain Bustillos, okay?
Thank you.
No, that's,
Wait, you guys, let's try to focus and spread out a little bit. Sammy, you had a question?
I actually had an incident Sunday night at my house. A drunk driver ran into my house.
and then where do you live? I'm sorry to hear that. It's not a good.
Lotus and Apian.
Lotus and Appian, okay.
And They were fabulous.
Oh,
They're,
super.
you know the times when you see a speeding car or someone
Right.
cut in and you're like, where are the police when you need them?
Yeah.
They were just around the corner at McLaughlin, so they were there in 3 seconds.
Oh, great, did you have, no, you have how many minutes, was it, what time was it?
11:30 on Sunday night.
Oh, Sunday night, okay, well, you had, I'm trying to think who it is, you get some good teams working out
Yeah,
there.
no, they were fabulous.
Okay, great, that's good to hear.
And I
because
had
those are-
cameras, and I recorded it, I was able to
Oh, great.
record it all, and.
And they got him, they arrested him.
Yeah,
Good,
they got him
okay.
there, and they said, he told them that a car was coming in his direction, a truck, and so he had to veer
Right.
into my house, and the video was different, completely opposite. So anyway, I just wanted I was just really amazed. I watched the video from before, because I didn't wake up right away, but I watched it a few minutes before. They controlled some of the other neighbors who would come in, you could see kind of what was going on, but it was just amazing. It was fast, it was good, they were thorough. And what would impress me the most is 3 times they came to my car that they hit to just check to see, 3 different officers, was there somebody in the car? And I saw that in the video and I thought, wow, that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's good, well, that's good to hear, I will
Yeah.
pass that along to them. Do you have a case number by chance? Did they give you a case
I
number?
do.
Okay, great, then I'll come, I'll get that from you, so I'll send them a note, so.
Wonderful. So is there any other general updates that you'd like to give us? I mean, is there seeming to be, with this mild weather, kind of a calmness going on, or is the building up this summer causing tensions? I mean, what's your feel in the general atmosphere?
Well, we're steady from, usually my problems downtown will be is if we have a string of robberies, and we have, for example, about a year ago, we had those juveniles committing robberies, they walk up to people usually midnight to about 5 in the morning. So we haven't seen those. Usually we're able to, the term we use is put them down, we're able to put that string down. We've had 2 or 3 of those, I think, the last year. We haven't seen another one in a while downtown. Looking at the crime stats downtown, most of those things happen along the core. As we move out to the neighborhoods, just steady activity. We spend a lot of time, I have some great teams that work going out through near Olander School and out towards your neighborhood. We're always working those areas. I have a community policing team in the daytime. Henry Duran and Alfonso Rodriguez are great. They've got the drive, they've been dedicated to that assignment, they have duration, they've been there for quite a bit. So that's a big deal to have them there in the same place, 2 Spanish-speaking officers. Kind of coming up into this neighborhood, we're kind of looking for a burglar over in more towards Watson Park. We have somebody we have our eye on over there, we think's been causing some trouble as we kind of move into here and move more north. Not anything that jumps out at me. We were at a community meeting in District Marjorie Matthews, I forget.
4.
Thank you. We were in District 4 last week. There are problems with burglaries, there are problems with traffic. Traffic is really tough for us right now, resource-wise. It's very difficult for us to combat traffic issues, although we have increased some overtime and have some cars assigned to that. And then the ever-present problem of abandoned vehicles, vandalism. We get a lot of those calls. I mean, it's tough. Sometimes DOT gets a little backed up, so we'll send some people out there. And if we just towed one off of, is anybody here from San Antonio, maybe 24th in that area? We just towed them
Roosevelt.
out.
Yeah.
Roosevelt.
The
We're
van?
out of Roosevelt. This is a little to the other direction. We pulled a car out. They've been there for about 3 or 4 weeks. So that seems to be, people
Yeah.
really appreciate that when you have something, just a piece of junk in front of your house. It's just not, and that's part of the whole broken windows theory as well. So
Right.
those are important. We recognize that. If somebody calls me about those, I try to help out DOT and get rid of them right away. So
Right,
that's a-
and we want to
yes.
thank, oh, sorry.
Good seeing you again, officer.
I remember you were on the other side last
Yeah,
time. Mr. Lamar.
the traffic issue is two-sided. It means that our economy is improving. I think
Right.
we ought to sit there and look at that. The officers, we had Raul, Councilmember Raul and I had a conversation about the term of office particularly for the foot patrol officers that you're having. What we've experienced is that people will come into the neighborhoods, we will establish a rapport with them, they will find out where all the problems are, and then they leave, with no debriefing or anything like that at all.
They hate it as much as we do.
Wait, you guys, let's not derail it. And Lovey, that is an important point. It's something that has been brought up as an area of concern over and over, but we all know that this is a union negotiated issue, that the officers actually like it because it gives them the flexibility. So are we in agreement that while we know it's important and it has an impact on our neighborhoods, that we can't really solve it and we really shouldn't put the captain on the spot with that?
Sure.
Is that
I think that's well, but Raul did express that he was an advocate for extending that time and at least getting a debriefing. One finishing comment that was very sobering and I would certainly like to share it for the group, etc. I go to a barber shop over on Don Tomas and Hamilton, very busy, heavy-duty trafficked area in there. 2 doors away, 3 doors away from the barber shop is a jewelry store. During the middle of the day, on this very busy boulevard, 3 young men from Oakland drove down to this place, beat up the guy in the place, stole about $50,000 worth of jewelry. Fortunately, they were able to apprehend him. But when the barber told me this was going on, it was just unbelievable to me. I think that sometimes for those of us that you get to a point of where you're saying, no, this cannot happen, or it's daytime, or it's traffic, or something like that. I'm sure you guys are aware of this, but it was very sobering for me to have that happen.
Right, those are tough. Fortunately, those don't happen all the time. There is a string, it was in the paper, working this way on Santa Clara Street. We are looking for someone there. We did have a robbery string through here that was up to about 22. I think we called him Goldfinger. It was the guy was wearing the glove, or was carrying the weapon in the left hand, so we did catch him. And is that a female that cut your hair there, out of curiosity?
Yes, you know her?
Well, I know her. I think you're safe at that barbershop.
Well, the council member and I go to the same barbershop, so we get a chance
Okay, so you're
to.
very
Okay, so
safe
we
there.
have Kimberly, Antonina, and Tina. So Kimberly, you were first?
Okay, possible solution to the 6-month switch of things might be something where maybe they just offer senior officers the option to opt in or to be able to stay where they want to stay. Just saying that. My question is, I'm sitting on another task force where we're trying to come up with ways to get more police downtown. One of the ideas that we have is to create a parking district with the parking meters, because really the only parking meters in San Jose are downtown, and yet the money goes into the general fund and gets dispersed all over all of San Jose. We want to try to keep the money spent down here, and use that parking fund to hire more officers to patrol the downtown area. That's what we're going to recommend anyway. Do you have any idea, just a number to throw out there as a ballpark that we could look for in the way of officers so that we can try to back into a budget from there?
Well, if you had the downtown foot patrol complement, the 4 officers and a sergeant, that's great if you had them every day for 10 hours, and then you also have 4 officers that are patrolling, and I think you'd start at about 10 and then see where that takes you from there. But roughly, I mean, that seems like the 4 that are going to calls for service are still not really keeping up, but if you add those 2 together, that gives you a start. But I
So
will
they're
tell you,
part-time right now?
the foot patrol officers are 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, so that's only Monday through Friday. But I will tell you this about what we're doing now is we're running the department on overtime, and we're, to a certain extent, and a lot of these details and other things are all overtime driven. And the officers are tired. And I think that, I think overtime is certainly a great solution when it's used in a prudent fashion, and perhaps, I don't want to say sparingly, but used judiciously. But it's tough now, just the more and more overtime we have. So it's just something to think about.
Are there still any out there in that pool who were laid off at one point who are ready to come back, or did we lose everything?
I don't think they're going to come back until Measure B is resolved, because they come back to a different retirement. That's just, I kind of stay out of that. I'm really supposed to stay out of the political stuff, but that's the honest answer, I think.
Okay, so we have 2 people that I've called on to go ahead, but, really, let's try to focus on things that he can answer for us and help us, and kind of focus more on the police things rather than the administrative side. I think that would help, because we do have a couple more D3 CLC items, and then we want to save time for when the council member gets here for the updates on the participatory budgeting. So we have Antonina and then Tina.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to ask if you know that if we're going to add more community service officers.
I just saw April 18th of 2016, they're going to start, if I remember that right from my notes. They're supposed to start in their training program, I believe. Did I see 20 roughly? I just saw it in the notes today in the staff meeting. So that's when they're, so they're great. I think it's about 20, I'm not exactly sure. I just saw it on the notes today, but it's real important. Those are great. We need more of them because it frees up officers to do other things. And they're taking great fingerprints as well.
Oh,
Perfect.
If you,
Okay, actually, Richard, we were gonna close it at Tina unless it's real brief, but let's see what Tina does.
All right, so just real quick, it'd be helpful, because I know that and you guys depend on the neighbors, the community to be your eyes and ears, right? It'd be helpful if you can you generalize set times of the year where we have to be especially vigilant? And the reason I'm asking that is because it has seemed like in the past August, September timeframe, we hear a lot about break-ins in my particular neighborhood, and I'm just wondering, are there patterns that maybe all of us could benefit from knowing?
Well, I think each season brings on its challenges. When you get to the summer, we tend to leave windows open and things of that nature, which are not really good. We want to have things secure. But I haven't noticed any pattern in terms of winter or anything. I can certainly ask Kim Gaddis and Rosanna Carrasco are fabulous. I can, you know them. I can certainly ask them. But I haven't noticed any patterns. It seems like we stay on a consistent message, which is the crime prevention, is that we can't do it without you, that this is the burglar unit, this is the team right here. It's not the police on one side and then the community on the other. So I would just preach vigilance. We'd like you to be vigilant. We want you to know your neighbors. We want you to be dependent on your neighbor. Kim Gaddis explains it so well, that if we're neighbors and we're together in this effort, then I feel an obligation to keep an eye on her car, or if I see somebody around her house. So, and then things come and go. Right now we have the scam with people, last one I thought was the water company, where people are knocking on the doors and pretending to be a representative of a utility company. So it just comes and goes. I don't really know of any different type of pattern. Christmas time, you hear people say, well, robberies will go up. Maybe that's because there's more people with money and other things around, or more packages in cars and other things. But I'd have to look at the stats again. Sorry, it's a long answer.
What about
Rangers?
Rangers are great, and that's something that we would like to do with St. James Park, for example, with the feeding. That is something that I've gotten a couple calls when they've been feeding at St. James Park, and I've gone down there and almost started a riot because of my presence. And this is now post-Ferguson, post-Baltimore, and then the whole thing in this country is changing. It's a message to everybody, and to the police as well, that we need to interact better with the community. We need to get out of the car. We need to talk to people. But Rangers, when I say that, my message on that is we do need them. We need them at St. James Park to help us, especially with feeding, to tackle that. They do a great job on the Guadalupe. I talked to, is anybody here on the Guadalupe? Somebody walks a German Shepherd down there. Is that person here? I forget the name, but that person will send me emails once in a while. So I do have officers, though, that go to areas where Rangers are policing. So there certainly is an overlap, and I think Rangers are great. Just certain areas like feeding, bad thing to get police involved in and stuff like
I
that.
think you mean the Coyote Creek, and I think I know the person.
Cody, good guy. He had another the German name, begins with a W. I think it's
No, it's Iceland.
Iceland. Okay, there you go.
Iceland.
All right, well, it's close.
Can you participate in the St. James National Night Out?
Well, we will be there, yes. So we do, yeah, that's on the list. So I can tell you that I would say yes, but sometimes Kim Gaddis needs to really push me along, because I get bogged down at the event. So that's on our list, absolutely. I'll be out, a lieutenant will be out, absolutely. And then I think we talked to Jack about that a little bit. We can absolutely get that on the list. If I get there early, the earlier the better, then it's more of a guarantee. I feel bad if I get you at the end of the list, and wow, it's tough. I really need somebody to push me along.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
get
I
there
mean.
and everybody's gone home, yeah.
Well, I just have to tell me to stop talking, that's what I need, right now. Stop talking. So, any other questions about the division?
So thank you very much for your time.
Oh, good, okay, good, perfect. Well, I appreciate that. Oh, you do? Okay, great. I'll let her know. Thank you for doing that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hooray. Got a card here. Oh, you're in San Jose State? Hooray. Good, good. Anything else? And then he knows where to stay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Pete, oh yeah, I'll give you a card.
We're going to talk about contact numbers, or numbers where we can call without having to go through the system. Do you have any suggestions about that?
Well, I think the best way, I mean, we have our, I'm thinking that, all right, I'm trying to think if it depends on what the particular issue is. What's the, you want to just pass them around here?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I don't want to miss you, sir. I'm going to put that right there for you.
Just about information officer, just no complaint or anything like that, but just kind of like for your information,
Well, you
kind
can
of a thing.
send me an email, you can leave me a message, have me call.
Your email